Welcome to our session on analyzing categorical data in economics. In quantitative analysis, we often work with qualitative traits like gender, region, or education level. The fundamental challenge is quantifying these into a mathematical model, such as a linear regression where y equals alpha plus beta x plus epsilon. On the right, we see a scatter plot of wages across different education levels. Notice how the groups shift vertically as education increases. We need a robust method to measure this shift in outcomes caused by group membership. While old manual methods often led to errors, modern automated approaches provide a reliable way to model these transitions from high school through to a PhD. When working in Stata, the software treats all variables as continuous by default. This makes our initial decision process vital for correct model specification. If your input variable is continuous, like age or income, use the C dot prefix. If it represents discrete categories, such as region or status, you must use the I dot prefix. Once a categorical variable is identified, determine if an interaction is needed. Stata offers two specific operators, a single hash for interaction only, which creates the cross product, and a double hash for a full factorial model, which includes both the main effects and their interaction. Using these prefixes correctly ensures Stata interprets your data exactly as your research design intends. The old way of handling categorical data involved manual creation of dummy variables using commands like xi or tabulate generate. This method was high in memory usage because it created physical variables in the dataset and was prone to coding errors. In contrast, the modern factor variable way uses virtual variables with the I prefix, requiring zero extra memory and automating the selection of base levels. It also integrates seamlessly with post-estimation commands like margins. Instead of creating 4 new physical variables for 4 regions, for example, i.region creates them on the fly during the regression. As the Stata Manual U26 states, factor variables create indicator variables, and, optionally, for their interactions, saving lots of space. This diagram illustrates the integrated Stata method ecosystem for modern data analysis. It all begins with data cleaning. Once your data is tidy, the central hub of this workflow is factor variables, represented by the I prefix. Factor variables are crucial because they bridge the gap between two main paths: estimation commands like regress or logit, and post-estimation tools like margins and margins plot. Notice the arrow from estimation to post-estimation. This signifies that the results of your model flow directly into interpretive tools. Crucially, we no longer use the legacy xi command. It's considered obsolete because it doesn't provide the same mathematical consistency. By using factor variables, you ensure that every step, from the initial model to the final visualization, is mathematically sound and perfectly aligned. To truly grasp how dummy variables work in a regression, think of them as a simple light switch. When we model wage as a function of having a college degree, the variable college acts as the switch. If the switch is off, represented by a value of 0, the person doesn't have a degree. In this state, the expected wage is simply beta 0, our base level average. Now, when we flip the switch on, giving it a value of 1, the person has a degree. This activates beta 1, which we call the premium or the shift. It's the additional amount added to the base wage specifically because the college condition is met. For example, if beta 0 is 50,000 and the college premium beta 1 is 15,000, then flipping the switch from 0 to 1 shifts the predicted wage from 50,000 to 65,000. This on-off mechanism is the fundamental building block for quantifying qualitative differences in economics. To use factor variables effectively, your data must satisfy 3 fundamental conditions. First, categories must be coded as non-negative integers. Stata will not accept decimals or negative values for these indicators. Second, observations must be mutually exclusive, meaning each subject fits into exactly one group. Finally, to avoid the dummy variable trap, a state of perfect multicollinearity, one group must be omitted to serve as the base level for comparison. If your data has issues, such as being stored as strings or having gaps, use the solution box methods, the recode command for manual fixes, or the EViews group command to automatically create a clean set of integer categories. In this slide, we examine how to interpret regression results for categorical variables. The high school category is marked as base, which means it serves as our reference group and is represented by the model's intercept. When looking at the college variable, we see a coefficient of 15.0. This is interpreted as, relative to high school graduates, college graduates earn 15 units more, holding all other factors constant. Notice the statistical significance. With a p-value of 0.000, we can be confident in this result. Similarly, PhD holders earn 25 units more than the high school base group, which is also highly significant with a t-statistic of 8.06. Categorical variables using i.var measure differences between distinct groups, creating steps in the regression fit. For instance, you might use i.education to see the jump between degrees. Continuous variables using c.var measure the intensity or rate of change, creating a smooth slope, such as the effect of each additional year of work experience. A key rule to remember is use c for slopes and I for intercepts. This distinction ensures your model correctly reflects the underlying nature of your data. We can also combine these variables using interaction operators, which we will explore next. This slide breaks down the essential Stata syntax for handling different types of variables and interactions. At the top, we have the two primary prefixes, i.var for indicator or categorical variables, and c.var for continuous variables. Below these, we have the interaction operators. The single hash is for interaction-only terms, essentially the cross product. The double hash is for a full factorial specification, which includes both the main effects and the interaction. A crucial best practice to remember is to always use the double hash when modeling interactions. This guarantees that main effects are included in the regression, preventing the accidental omission of critical terms from your model. You can specify a particular value as the base using ib_syntax, such as ib2.group. Alternatively, you can automatically set the highest value as the base using iblast. Or the most frequent value using ibfreq. To set a permanent default for your entire Stata session, use the fvset command. If group 3 is the most common, ibfreq.group makes it the reference, making other coefficients easier to interpret. Before we can apply these commands, we must prepare our data correctly. The first step is to inspect your data using describe and tabulate to check storage types. In the screenshot, we can see that gender string is a string variable, which won't work with factor variable syntax. Next, clean the data by converting strings or decimals to integers using recode or EViews grouping. This is essential because Stata's factor variable operators only work on non-negative integers. Finally, apply human-readable names using label define and label values for better output interpretation. This ensures that instead of seeing a 0 or 1 in your results, you see male or female. For example, if gender is stored as strings, you would use a command like encode to turn them into labeled integers. Let's see this workflow in action with a practical health data illustration. Let's bring these concepts to life with a practical case study. Our goal is to analyze how health status and a diagnosis of diabetes relate to a patient's systolic blood pressure. First, we have BP systole, representing systolic blood pressure. This is our continuous dependent variable. Next, we have HLTH stat for health status. This is a categorical variable with 3 levels: excellent, good, and poor. Finally, we have diabetes, an indicator or binary variable where patients are classified as either yes or no. If you look at the Stata data browser window below, you can see how this looks in practice. We have raw numbers for blood pressure, while health status and diabetes are stored as labeled integers. We want to know if the impact of diabetes on blood pressure is worse for people who are already in poor health. We use the command regress bp-sys i.healthstat #i.diabetes. The ## operator automatically generates the main effects for health status and diabetes, plus their interactions. In the results, the interaction terms represent the additional impact for specific group combinations. The coefficient for poor #diabetic shows the extra blood pressure increase for diabetics who are also in poor health. Because these coefficients can be hard to interpret, we use post-estimation tools. Now, let's look at a real Stata output to understand why interaction models can be tricky. On the left, we see the main effects. For example, the coefficient for good health status shows its impact on systolic blood pressure relative to the base group. Below that, we have the interaction terms. These represent the difference of differences. For instance, the good diabetic term of -4.02 tells us the additional change in blood pressure for a diabetic person, specifically when they are in good health. Herein lies the challenge. Interpreting these raw coefficients is not intuitive. It is hard to visualize the final outcome just by adding these numbers up in your head. The solution, as highlighted on the right, is to use the margins command. It does the heavy lifting for us, converting these complex differences into straightforward predicted values that tell us exactly what the expected blood pressure is for each specific group combination. The margins command converts complex relative coefficients into actual predicted outcomes. For example, it can calculate the average predicted blood pressure for a diabetic person with good health status. This makes the results much more intuitive for policymakers and non-technical audiences. Instead of saying the interaction is 8.9, we can say the predicted BP is 160 for this specific group. To make these findings even clearer, we can visualize them. The margins plot command creates a visual representation of the predicted values we just calculated. Diverging lines in the plot visually prove the existence of an interaction effect. In our case, it shows that health status impacts blood pressure differently for diabetics compared to non-diabetics. For example, the steeper slope for the diabetic line indicates their blood pressure rises more sharply as general health declines. Finally, let's look at some common pitfalls you might encounter. When working with factor variables in Stata, you might encounter specific errors. If you receive an error stating factor variables may not contain non-integer values, it is because your categorical variable contains decimals. To fix this, inspect your data and use the recode or round function to ensure all entries are integers. Another common issue is empty cells or omitted terms, which occurs when there are no observations for a specific group combination. For instance, if your dataset has no individuals categorized as both diabetic and in excellent health. To resolve this, check your sample distribution with the tabulate command and consider merging smaller categories together to maintain model integrity. To conclude, let's recap our master workflow. It begins with rigorous data cleaning to ensure categorical variables are stored as integers. We then set the appropriate base level using fvset, run our model using the robust double hash syntax, calculate margins for real-world interpretability, and finally, visualize those effects with margins plot. For those looking to deepen their expertise, I highly recommend the Stata manual sections listed here. These are invaluable resources for understanding the full power of factor variable syntax and the margins command suite. Always remember, factor variables are more than just a coding convenience. They are the essential bridge that transforms raw, qualitative data into clear, interpretable economic insights that drive real-world understanding. Thank you for your time today.